All right, welcome. This is the Wasatch Powder Keg. This is the U.S. National Championship in Skimo. We're underway in qualifiers. The racers have already started. We're going to start laying down some qualifying times. I'm going to be with you the entire day. Let's see who we have coming up. Let's see what type of order we have. All right. So we're going to start laying down some times. What the racers are going to be doing, if you're unfamiliar with Skimo Sprint, this is Steve Wu, number 63. He was 10th in the individual, 69th in the vertical overall. Right here we have Bart Gillespie from Holiday trying to lay down a good time. What we're basically doing here is everybody is going to be laying down a qualifying time. Emma, I'm going to check to your camera. It looks like you are live. Now you want to mute your audio. I can see you at the finish line. Everything's looking good. Let's cut back up. We're here with Coulter Lays. He was first in the individual in his age division, men's masters last year. What they're doing now, this is the Skimo Sprint. What they're going to be doing is trying to lay down the fastest time in the sprint division. Now let's go ahead and start at the bottom and see if I can show you what this course is going to look like. They're starting at the bottom. They're going to be running their way up. Once they get up, they're going to be hitting the diamonds. When they hit the diamonds, what I mean by that is this little area. They're going to come into the diamonds. They can pick either left or right. From there, they're going to get right to me where I am at the commentator spot, and they're going to be running up this little area. Now, it does not look steep, but let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is steep. It's pretty. It's going to take your breath away. Right here, we have Christopher Heinrich. He was first in the individual in his division, 52nd in the vertical overall. They're going to work their way up. Once they get up there, they're going to hit the boot pack transition. They're going to go skin to boot, and right here they're going to transition. We'll get there when we get Christopher Heinrich there. Now, here's the thing with Skimo Sprint: anything can happen. We have 58, Thomas Brower, and I believe Jacob Haltom from Gunnison. So these racers are going up. As they get up to the skin to boot transition, what they're going to want to do is go ahead and take their skis off and put them on their backpack. Then they're going to run up a boot pack section. As you can see here in this transition, they're going to take their skis off, put them into their backpack. There's a clip on the top of their backpack, and then off they go up the boot pack. Now this boot pack is steep. And at the top there, you can see a racer doing it right there. They're going to then put their skis back on their feet. From there, we're going all the way to the top, and we're going to do a transition all the way to the top, ski to skin, or skin to ski rather. They're going to have to rip their skins off and work their way down. From there, they're going to be skinning through the gates, all the way down. If they miss a gate, penalties. Work their way down through these gates. As they get through the gates, there is a jump. You can swallow it for speed or hit it with style points. Then when they get to the bottom, we're going to see down to Emma's camera down bottom. We have Josh Kelberger from Logan, eighth in the individual in his division last year. So what these racers are trying to do is lay down a really fast time in the qualifiers here. So we have Samuel Johnson here from Mill Creek. He was fifth in the individual in his division last year. So what they're trying to do is lay down a fast enough time such that they make it into the finals. With that said, they don't want to use too many matchsticks. If they use too many matchsticks, they could be in trouble. Using too many matchsticks means they don't have enough energy in those actual finals that happen, sometimes 30 minutes later. And if you're just joining us, I'll be your host. I'm Max Valverde. We are set up at beautiful Solitude. My name is Max Valverde. I'm also producing it, so I'm hitting the buttons while we're doing it. I can make that Max Valverde go away for you right there. But you see the racers coming up behind me. I'm set up halfway up the mountain. This is the live stream for the Skimo sprint. If you're unfamiliar with the sprint, what we're talking about is they're going to be running up the mountain, taking their skis off, putting them on their backpack, continuing to run up the boot pack. From there, they're going to, let's just check the book right here. Here's a good transition. They just skinned up. They're taking the skis off, putting them on their backpack, continuing to run up to the top. Once they get to the top, they need to go ahead, put the skis back on, and continue skidding to that top transition. Once they get to the top transition, they need to put their skis into ski mode, rip their skins off. See if we can get even a little closer. It might get a little grainy on us. And then they're going to ski down through gates right by me here. So that then we'll see them right here. So again, right now, these are qualifiers. The racers here are trying to lay down their best time possible without using too many matchsticks.
Mark, did it read anything?
All right, here we have Wesley Perkins on the U.S. national team cranking up. Now, Wesley Perkins, oh, sorry about that. Let's shoot up to him as he's getting to the transition zone. Just in front of Wesley Perkins coming into the transition zone is Baden Menton, but Wesley Perkins was third in the sprint last year in his division, first in the individual. He's a good sprinter. Let's see this transition from him. Taking a knee, putting something back. There's a little loop on the bottom of the backpack, and he's going up. He's looking like he's laying down a pretty solid time. 40 here, we have George Beck.
Jack Linehan coming up.
Fifth 35, DNS.
That's fine. Bib number 32 up next.
Okay. Sorry, I'm going dark for a second. My cut sheet ripped.
Tom Goff is taking his first qualifying lap.
Okay, let's zoom in on Tom. So we have the senior men coming up.
Followed by Here Comes John Gaston.
All right, so we see Tom Goth coming up through the diamonds here, taking his selection. Now, again, we want to use it, not all the matchsticks that we have. Coming here is Mark Fliss from Park City. Let's see if he can keep some distance between him and Tom Goth. We'll see Tom Goth on the U.S. national team. Mark Fliss from Park City. Let's see. Here comes Tom. Now, Tom Goth was the winner of the sprint 2 years ago. Has a nice little pace. Doesn't want to use too many matchsticks, but want to make sure he gets into the semifinals and the finals. So he's got a nice little clip, seeing if he can lay down a time. Here comes John Gaston, who was last year's first in the individual, first in the vertical. He's going to see if he can keep pace with Tom Goth, get a good spot into the finals. Um, and as we stay with them, let's pop up to the next. So here's Tom getting into the transition zone. Let's see if Tom's going to catch Mark
Cam
Fliss on
Smith
this
is kicking
qualifier.
off.
Okay. We also have Jeff Mogavero chasing, stalking. So if we get back up top, we see Tom Goth catching up to Mark Fliss in these qualifiers and John Gaston just behind. So Gaston and Goth looking like setting a pretty fast paced qualifier lap. We have David Sinclair just passing. David Sinclair was second in the sprint last year. David Sinclair's comes from the Nordic world, and coming into there, we also have Joseph
Yeah, he's the guy in
Demore.
the red in the middle.
All right, so something motoring up, and here goes Cam Smith. Cool, calm, calculated. He was one of the winners in the mixed relay yesterday. So we'll see. I think Tom Goth has already done his top transition. Let's see if we can catch up with them here. That was a lightning quick. Yeah, Tom laying down just a lightning speed time. Gaston in close pursuit. So it looks like Tom Goth and Gaston are going to have some pretty strong times. They passed Mark Fliss there, but Mark could also see himself get into the finals or the semifinals, depending on how deep the field goes today. Let's check back up top. All right, here comes David Sinclair with Jeff Mogavero just behind. David Sinclair second last year. We have Catherine Keel, Christy Polentz from Basalt and Truckee, respectively, trying to lay down a time here. coming down. We got a lot of action. Let's see if we can catch back up. I think this is Cam Smith. Let's see Cam's. Now Cam races on the World Cup circuit for the U.S. And we'll cut down to Emma's bottom camera. So when they go across the bottom, they then at the bottom, you're going to need to then kind of skate back up. And let's cut back over to this. Okay, Emma, on that camera, I think we're going
We
to need
got
to
some
get it
U.S.
closer.
senior women.
Yeah, Emma, on that camera, I think we might need to get it closer, like get right up into the finish line there. Yeah, great. All right, we have the senior women starting. Back to camera one here. All right, we have Samantha Marin, she's fifth in the Fireball Rando vertical. We also have Catherine Noir from Sandy. Utah was first in the individual last year. Trying to see what you can do for sprint. Now the individual is a longer thing. Also, Emma, you may want to mute your camera while you're not talking. We can hear the background. All right, so let's go back down to the bottom. We can see racers starting, working their way up, then entering the diamonds. Once they're in the diamonds, they can pick either track, left or right. As you can see here, they can pick either left or right. We have Isabella Franz here, 10th in the Lobo Loco individual, trying to lay down a time to get her into the finals. Here we have Hannah Meck from Gunnison, Colorado, 4th in the Lobo Loco vertical. Gets a little boost of energy. She's seeing if she can lay down a qualifier time. Now, this is going to be wild during qualifiers. There's racers everywhere. Everyone's just trying to lay down the fastest time possible. Here we have Journey Fleischman from Gunnison, Colorado, 17th in the Lobo Loco individual earlier this year. So we have racers coming up from the bottom, hitting the diamonds, getting to the middle of the mountain here. We have a passing situation right now. So Haley Elliott getting passed by Laura Hamilton. Laura Hamilton was 9th in the Lobo Loco. Haley Elliott, 2nd in the individual last year. Oops, sorry, I was not on that camera. But far from us, 2nd from us is Haley Elliott, and then we have Laura Hamilton.
You have Alyssa Wendt coming up, racing in the senior division. She was third in sprint and ninth in individual last year. And then followed by her, Kristen Lane, who placed second in vertical last year, racing for senior women out of Aspen, Colorado.
Okay, great. And if you also want to call out their colors on their coming up or their helmet color, that would be helpful. Awesome, thanks, Emma. All right, we have Kelly Wolf working her way up. And here's Alyssa Wendt. Alyssa was 3rd in the sprint last year. And we have Kristen Lane, 2nd in the vertical last year, looking to lay down a sprint time to make some moves in the finals. Let's see who we have coming. Kelly Wolf.
Jesse Young and Brooke Haynes.
Okay. Right here in front of me, we have Kelly Wolf, 2nd in the individual, 3rd in the vertical. trying to lay down a time to see what type of position she can be in the finals. Here we have Jessie Young and Brooke Haynes. Brooke Haynes was racing over in Europe for the USA. She came in 8th in the French National Cup. I don't have which race that was. I think it was the vertical. Um,
And Grace Stobberg should be right behind Brooke
yeah,
Haynes.
I have her right here. Here comes Grace. She actually just recently raced in Courchevel, got 46 in the vertical. Going to try to lay down a time on the sprint course, get herself into the finals in a good position. Here we have Haley Hafman, the reigning champion. She won the sprint last year, was also the mixed relay winner yesterday. She's got a lot of goals around her neck. Let's see what she can do today. Just chugging, trying to lay down a time, not use too much energy, but then see if she can work her way into the finals. Oh, we also don't want to miss that we have Gwen Rudy here in hot pursuit. So let's see if that lead, we have any lead changes there. All right. So let's watch them work their way up. All right, so they're getting to the top of the boot pack transition. And just as a reminder, if you're just joining us, what they need to do here is do a boot pack transition. So they put their skis on their back. I'm not sorry, not transition. A boot pack where they run up with their skis on their back. That does not look steep. I can tell you it's like a Dutch staircase. It is straight up. Running up this thing, it'll take your breath away. And so let's see, we have Jessie Young. Let's follow them down. And then Emma, I'm going to cut to your camera down bottom. See if we can see the finish line. So as they're coming through, we'll see them. They need to loop around the bottom and then work their way
We have Brooke
up.
Haynes with a tight behind Jessie Young coming right behind her.
Okay. Is there a way we can get the camera like right on the finish line to see them finish? Yeah. And maybe even closer, like right on it, zoomed in.
What do you need me to print off heat? You read my mind. I was just running in to see if we can get that stuff organized.
All right. While we're looking on the finish line here, let's get.
Gwen's turning the corner here. Nice performance by Gwen.
All right. We are going to be able to cut now to the results. It looks like we have our who's advancing. So we have, let's just take a look at the fastest times. I mean, look at this. This is an insane time by Ian Clark. Now, remember, last year this happened to Ian Clark. Ian Clark went out with the fastest overall time on the course in his qualifier division. He did it again. Ian Clark won, David Sinclair, Jack Linehan, John Gaston, Zane Wassico. So these are some pretty fast times. These are, it's kind of mixed adults, pro and youth. So this is kind of a little confusing. Let's just take it with a grain of salt for now. These are provisional results. But let's look. Brooke Haynes, Haley Hafman, Laura Hamilton, Gwen Rudy laying down the fastest times. Jesse Young, Grace Stabberg. Now remember, you do not need to have the fastest time in qualifiers. You just need to make it to the next round. So the more seasoned racers, if we look back, let's take a look at, who are the most seasoned racers that come to mind when you think about Skimo Sprint. Let me do a dual picture in picture because we're fancy now. Let's see if we can do this. Who do you think about when you think about Skimo Sprint? You think about Tom Goth, you think about Cam Smith, you think about David Sinclair. And so where do we see Cam Smith coming in here? I mean, I'm not seeing his time. They don't have his time yet. But anyway, so a Tom Goth laying down a 3:44, a slower time. You can see why a Tom Goth might save some of his energy. He's going to be fresh for those finals. If he's coming in eighth in the qualifiers, that's not indicative of Tom Goth's ability and speed. It's more a sign of experience. Tom Goth taking the time to save his energy so he has energy for those semifinals and finals. Let's cut back to the course. Let's see if anybody else. See, check down bottom. I think we're good. Little raking it up. All right. Well, there's nothing much to do except, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wasatch Powder Keg. If you're just joining us, this is the USA National Championship in the Skimo Sprint. Let's take a look at the senior division and the men's sprint last year. So let's go 2 years ago. We have Tom Goth, Charlie Von Avis, Adam Loomis, Ian Clark. Now, if we want to double click into that, Ian Clark missed that, lost to Adam Loomis, missed third place by 500ths of a second. Ian Clark, who has a tendency to lay down an incredibly fast qualifier time, we'll see what he's able to do today. If these are actual results, Ian Clark laying down, I mean, let's just check back in with that. If this is accurate, Ian Clark laying down a 2:49 first lap. I mean, that's insane. Tom Goth, winner 2 years ago, 3:44, almost a minute slower. So that's pretty wild. So the questions that I have are: did Ian Clark use too much energy? This could be a repeat. There was a race last year, about a year ago, called the Viking Sprints. They were held at Nordic Valley. Ian Clark there had the number one fastest qualifier time again, but he may have used too many matchsticks. He may have burnt himself out today because he did that then. He did not. I don't think he placed in the Nordic Valley Sprints. So let's take a look again. So people we're going to be looking up today: Ian Clark with those fastest qualifier times. We're looking at Tom Goth, reigning champion 2 years ago. Some other dark horses here today: David Sinclair. He got second place last year. No one had ever heard of him in the. No one had ever heard of David Sinclair in the. Let's see if it can handle this. It cannot handle that. We're going to have to abort that. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing it live. We're doing it. We're doing a one-man band here plus Emma. All right, back to it. David Sinclair came from the Nordic community. He's a Nordic sprinter, a Nordic cross-country skier. He came out of nowhere and got second in the sprint last year, has an amazing engine, and shocked everyone. Now, of the people here, I don't think Jules Gogli is here. Neither is Arthur Whitehead, who would have been neck and neck with Jules last year, but I think his ski popped off in the diamonds. So David Sinclair could be said to be the favorite here. With that said, you have people like Cam Smith, who races for the United States in Europe, who wasn't there last year. He's here today. You know, we also have John Gaston, not typically a sprinter, but a very seasoned Skimo athlete, and came in first in the vertical and the individual last year. So taking a look at the women, let's see what we're seeing in the women's results from last year. So let's look at Haley Hafman. Haley Hafman, uh, number one last year. We saw her just now in the qualifiers. She looked incredibly strong. For provisional results, looks like she got second in the qualifiers with a time of 4:13. Now, Brooke Haynes laid down the fastest time at 4:02, but the question is, does she have more in the tank for later in the day? That remains to be seen. So, in order for qualifiers, we had Brooke Haynes, then Haley Hafman 4:13, Laura Hamilton 4:22, Gwen Rudy 4:23, Jesse Young 4:23 as well, Grace Staberg 4:32, Kristen Lane 4:34. So they're all right in the same general area, but the only real repeat from last year is Haley Hafman. Now, something to also keep in mind is when we get into the younger divisions, for example, if we were to look at the women's U16 sprint, remind me, Emma, to take a look at the absolute times of McCall Birkinshaw, Sienna Peterson, and Corrine Higgins. If anyone was with us yesterday, McCall Birkinshaw laid down some lightning quick times, beating the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th place men, U18 men. So she just blew everybody away. Her and Emily Toy coming home with the first place trophy. Last year, Sienna Peterson actually tried to, I believe, race with the senior women. I think as a U16 aged young lady. So when we talk about the women's sprint last year, Haley Hafman, dominated. But as we go further down the list, I know that some of the times that like Sienna Peterson and even some of the younger young women did, like let's go over here, the U16 sprint. Yeah, Sienna Peterson, Carson Lays, McCall Birkinshaw, some of those scores would have beaten a lot of the adult women. So that's something to keep in mind as well. All right, let's talk about Skimo Sprint. If you are new here, Sprint is going to be in the Olympics in 2026. The event yesterday, the mixed relay and the sprint, are going to be the two events in the Olympics. This discipline, if you're watching from home, let's say you're a racer's grandmother from Australia, you've never seen this before. What this sport is you are skinning up the mountain. You have small skis that have skins on the bottom. What they are is you can see the racers ripping them off. What they are is they have a sticky side, and the other side is almost like felt. That kind of is like a one-way sort of thing. I believe they're called skins because they used to actually use animal skins back in the day in let's say the Nordic regions, and needed to traverse these wintry climates. So you put the skins on the bottom of the ski. That allows these racers to run up the mountain. The heel is also detached from the ski. The heel is detached from the ski, so the racer is able to run. And it's not like an awkward duck walk if you're familiar with alpine skiing and trying to walk around with skis on. So what they're going to do is try to run up the mountain. Let's take you to the course. They're going to hit this start line. As they're coming up, they hit the diamonds, as we call them. They're able to take one of two lanes here. After they pick the two lanes, you'll get to my And they're coming through here. They're going to run up this area. Work their way all the way up there. Once they get to that platform right there, that'll be to this. That is the boot pack transition. So what they're going to need to do is take their skis off with the skins still on, put them on their backpack, then run up this boot pack here, get to the top, transition at the top, and then ski down all the way through those gates, and we'll be down to Emma at the bottom at the finish line. While I have you here, why don't we take a look at a race last year? Let's look at an exact sprint race. Actually, this was not here. Let's do a highlight reel from the powder keg from last year, so we can kind of get pumped up before these finals start. So we got Jules out front, and David Sinclair just beasting across the Riesling. Coming down, Kenny, hold on. Oh, almost ate it. Here they go, in there first. Oh no, he fell. Can he hang on to this pace? That's what everybody's wondering. Can he hang on to this pace? And his toy is like a motorboat. He's got a rocket pack on him. He toy firing up this boot pack.
Hey, Max, it appears you might be on mute.
Thank you, Emma. We'll do that. We'll take that again. We'll take it live. Thank you, Emma. So I just received word that we are moving forward with the quarterfinals at 45 past the hour. So that's in about 7 minutes. So if you need to go to the bathroom, make a little lunch, a little sandwich, uh, go ahead. Don't touch that dial, but go ahead and come back. Um, we're going to start with 5 quarterfinals for male and then 4 quarterfinals for women. And that's what we will be doing very shortly. There's going to be 6 racers in each. They're going to be racing at the same time. So little elbow music possibly. Nothing too egregious, but they're going to be side by side, similar to if you've watched skier cross on the Olympics where they come down racing together. That's what's going to happen here. The great thing about sprint is that there are lead changes that happen because it's not just cashing in your chips for how much training have you done. It's also, listen, what happens during the transitions? Anything can happen. They're running up, they're trying to take their skis off, their skins fall off. At the top, they're trying to do a double rip. They forgot to put their ski into ski mode. They need to stop and do this. You can lose seconds here and there. A World Cup transition is usually around 7 seconds or less. An average transition we might see today is 10 to 12 seconds, but a botched transition can be 20 seconds. And we've also seen it where skis can fall all the way down the hill, and that's someone's dreams crushed. So why don't we take a look at the Nordic Valley sprints? I have a video of just one full sprint race, so you can kind of see what we're going to expect to see in about 5.5 minutes. Now let's take a look at the Nordic Valley clip that I have here. And they're off. Going to be picking lanes. I don't know how many will advance from each heat. Okay, looks like Arthur Whitehead.
Bottom cam is on live.
Okay, looks like we're going to call it just from vision. It looks like Arthur Whitehead out front. Do we know how many will advance from each heat for the men? Arthur Whitehead out front. Again, doesn't want to burn too many matchsticks. So we got Arthur Whitehead out front, and this is this transition from yesterday. that he needs to focus on. 675. Got Ian Clark second. Ian Clark yesterday laid down the fastest qualifier time, but maybe burnt a little bit too many matchsticks. Okay, and Arthur Whitehead out second. Adam Loomis 685 right here. He's going to take
So assuming top
going up
three
third.
go advance, so they're racing for
And
top
then we
three.
have Griffin Briley in fifth. Let's see if he has enough matchsticks in the matchbox to get up there. And then let's go up to the top cam because this is where the action's going to be unfolding. All right, Emma, read out what you got. Very helpful. Thank you.
Hey, Max, we have 675 taking the lead right now, followed by 670 Arthur Whitehead.
Okay, so Ian Clark out
Coming
front.
in third to the top is 678, followed
Okay,
by Adam Loomis and four. 675 is out of the transition.
okay. 678, Jacob Dewey in third. Looks like.
Arthur Whitehead is out of the transition. Adam Loomis, third.
Adam Loomis in third. Let's see if we can get them going around that corner. All right, so coming into the first transition zone, we have Ian Clark in first. Arthur Whitehead second. And then Adam Loomis in third into this transition zone. Let's see what we got coming down.
Adam Loomis out of the transition.
Okay, we have Ian Clark
Yeah,
again
Adam.
in the lead. Let's see who's we got second. Arthur Whitehead second. Adam Loomis third. Griffin Briley fourth. Griffin Briley may not make the finals. Second place, he's going to have to pass Loomis here. That might be a tall order in this final transition. It's going to come down to this final transition. Let's go into that transition zone now. We have Ian Clark coming in first to the transition zone. So we're going to have Ian Clark in the yellow helmet, followed by Arthur Whitehead in gray on the far side. And then to the right, we have Adam Loomis and Griffin Briley. We're going to see who's going to be leaving first. This is one of the toughest transitions. Okay, Griffin Briley, 674, is actually in front here. Griffin Briley's closest to us. And then we have Jacob Dewey in the middle. There. Okay, Ian Clark out front. Ian Clark's going to take first. And then Arthur Whitehead second. It's going to be a race for third. Who's going to make it into the finals? And then it's going to be Adam Loomis third. And Griffin Briley, one of the favorites, fourth, is not going to make the finals. And that's what's so amazing about Skimo Sprint. On any given Sunday, it's anyone's day. It's anyone's game.
678.
Jacob Dewey going to finish fifth in the heat.
Come on, geez, got 11:40, got a minute and a half. Come on, geez, minute and a half.
Hey, Max, we're setting up here,
And
getting
then Sam
the
Burke, who won last year's
men started
U20
for
national
race
championship.
T minus 1
He's
minute.
out of the transition zone, finishing sixth in this heat. So it looks like we're going to go Ian Clark 1, Arthur Whitehead 2, Adam Loomis 3, who was third in last year's national championship, just sneaking in front of Griffin Briley. Griffin Briley not going to make the finals, getting fourth in that heat. So let's see what we got. We got another final.
We have the race senior men starting up on the starting line down here.
Oh, Emma, is there any way that you can get almost all the way down there so it's like a photo finish? Like so you're looking side view, so we can see, if it's a photo finish, who's close to it.
Max,
What's up?
do you have a stand neck tomorrow?
Um, yeah, Emma, looking great. Can we get on the other side of the finish line so we can see them in case there is a photo finish, the side view?
Go ahead.
All right, so they are lining up.
Absolutely. Let's delay until we get the heat in.
I got to check on an issue. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. Give a rough estimate, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Yeah, maybe 10.
Is there a way that whoever is racing, you could announce the heat, like quarterfinal heat one? You don't need to announce the people, but just in my race result, I see heat one is Ian Clark, Marshall Graybell, 34, 33, 40, 56, 31. If you could announce heat one, that would be helpful.
Sorry, I didn't copy any of that. Can you say that again, please?
Get off the radio for a second. We got to figure out the starts.
Sounds good.
You copy? I copy.
All right.
Is it a timing thing? Do we need 10 minutes so you got something set to go with?
Looks like we're on possibly a 10-minute delay. Let's talk about what's going to be happening in a minute. So let's take a look at. Let's bring up the heats. I have the heats here now. All right. So if we take a look here. So in heat one, Ian Clark, Marshall Graybill, George Beck, Jackson Long, Mark Fliss. Okay. John Gaston, Simon Zink, Noah Brown, Baden Menton, Michael Nilsson, Roy Hobbs. So when we're looking at these, here's how it's going to work. In this quarterfinal, for the men, because there are going to be 5 different heats of either 5 or 6 people, 2 will advance. The top 2 racers will advance. There will be 2 lucky losers, because if you think about it, 5 heats, right? We want to get to 12, so the semifinals will be 2 races of 6. So we want to start with our five heats. We're going to take 2 from each, so we'll have 10. What 2 lucky losers mean, to get to that total 12, we're going to take the top 2 fastest who were not in the top 2 for their heat, will make it into the finals, or into the semifinals. For the women, because there's only going to be 4 quarterfinal heats, we can just take the top 3 from each of those to get our 12, which will be our 2 sixes in the semifinals. Looks like we're on a bit of a short delay. Let's take a look down bottom, see if we can see the racers they've taken the racers off the starting line. I think they need a few more minutes there. But again, let's talk about it. So when we're talking about the qualifiers and not using too much energy, it's the same situation. You want to use enough energy to get into top 2 for men, top 3 for women. So you may see some strategy, some cat and mouse. Who's going to go out front? Who's going to lead? Who's going to pass? You pretty much need to do your passing by the time you're at the top transition. It's very hard to pass on these ski gates and actually borderline dangerous. So what we will likely see is maybe a 1-2, a 1-2-3, stalking, leading. At these transition zones, at the boot pack, these are great opportunities for passing, and we'll try to call it out as we see it. So let's see if we can check down bottom. We are a little bit delayed, but if you're just joining us, this is the Wasatch Powder Keg. It's the USA National Championships in Skimo. let's cut to this cool view so you can we can keep an eye on the starting line while I kind of fill the air with some hot wind. So this is the path to the Olympics. If you weren't with us yesterday, let's talk a little bit about how America is going to get into the Olympics. The top racers are the Europeans. We're talking about the Spanish, Italian, French, Swiss. These are the top Skimo racers currently. We are climbing in the ranks. We have a lot of great World Cup racers over there racing. We have Cam Smith, who's got a third place result in the vertical. So we are climbing. The way to get in is likely going to be through there's something called a continental quota. So there will going to be two racers, one male, one female from North America. Right now, America getting a little warm. Right now, the United States is vying for that position. The people they're going to need to beat are likely the Canadians. There's also some teams from Chile, but the most competitive teams uh, in North America or in the Americas, I'm sorry, the Americas are the Canadians with the names, the likes of Matt Ruda, Kylie Toth, some of these racers that we've seen, they've come to some of these races before in the past. Um, but basically, they're who we're going to need to beat. We spoke yesterday a little bit with Oscar Angeloni, head coach of the USA Skimo team, talking about how United States is targeting that. So we are looking to get in through that quota spot. So we need to be better than the Canadians. Yesterday, mixed relay looked very strong. The two people that go, likely one male, one female, will race together in the mixed relay, but then also individually in the sprint. The sprint race, as we've talked before, is a very quick race, typically around 3 or 4 minutes. It's a lot of vertical. The amount of vertical, even though you cannot see it, is sometimes is around. It's basically like going from sea level up to the torch to the top of the Statue of Liberty. So even though this doesn't look that steep, I can tell you from hiking all this gear up halfway up the mountain, it is incredibly steep, and it is incredibly tiring. So we're here today. Let's see what we got. Let's check down bottom. Let's check Emma's camera. Looking good. Oh, are we on the other side? I like it. Looking good, Emma. Thank you.
Hey, Max, it looks like racers, when they are approaching the starting line, will come up right over here on my right and kind of come right in front of the finish line to approach the starting line. So
Okay.
when we have racers coming to the start, I'll let you know.
Okay. And speaking now is Emma Paulides, our very own commentator, and on the USA Schema marketing team. I have your little lower third up right now. Um, thanks for that. So when you see them, you can go ahead and interrupt me. Otherwise, I'll just keep blowing wind for now. All right. So let's cut to while I have you. Let's cut to this little clip from the Nordic Valley, a highlight reel from the Nordic Valley sprint races. Arthur Whitehead on the U.S. national team. Matt Ruda from Canada. This is anybody's race. There's a lot of transitions today, ladies and gentlemen. It could be anyone. All right, Kylie Toss right here. You never know. You just never know. This is a long move back. And it looks like Tom Goth out second. Tom Goth is going to be in the final. Jeff Mogavero with an insane transition. He came from 5th or 6th provisional, but I think Jeff Mogavero may have just snuck into the finals. Oh no, because they're underneath skis going all the way down the mountain. All right, we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is the Wasatch Powder Keg. We're here live via satellite, and I know I like saying that, but we're actually live via satellite. We got the Starlink beaming up to Elon Musk's satellites, basically, to bring this to you live via satellite. So we're about to get going in a minute. Let's check down bottom. Are the racers lining up? No, it's just you and me. We're going to be chatting for a little bit longer. Let's take a look at some of these heats and try to game plan who we might see leading some of these. Let's take a look. All right, so for the men. Or no, let's start with the men because they're the ones we're going to be seeing first. Okay, Ian Clark, Cam Smith. I think we're going to see Ian Clark, Cam Smith go 1-2. Then we got Zane Wassico, very strong. Jackson Long, Mark Fliss, also very strong racer out of Park City. We have Jack Linehan, all right, Tom Goth, Sam Burke, Jeff Mogavero, Mike Nilsson, and Roy Hobbs. Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can go side by side while we have a moment here. Yeah, they're not racing, but you know what? Why don't we do this? So we'll keep an eye on it. Let's keep an eye on it together. Let's do a little of this action so we can keep watching the live stream. If you're bored with uh, the screen sharing and me talking, you can put it on mute and just watch the screen share. If you want to hear this amazing commentary, then stay with us. Here we go. All right. So let's take a look at some of these results. Let's look at the qualifier results. Okay. So if we're looking at the men, Ian Clark. Did that just change? Because I swear it was Cam Smith, but maybe it changed. Anyway, Ian Clark, Wesley Perkins, Zane Wassico, Jackson Long, Mark Fliss. Okay, so we have Ian Clark, huge favorite. I honestly can't believe that time from Ian Clark. But again, did he use too many matchsticks? Wesley Perkins, 325. So we're thinking maybe Wesley Perk. Oh, I'm sorry. Their times are right here, guys. Listen, you got to write in. You got to write in and let me know when I'm leading you astray like that. All right, so we can zoom in like this. All right. So, but look, Zane Wassico, 331. He might be able to take Wesley Perkins here. That could be interesting. Wesley Perkins out of Park City, Mark Fliss out of Park City. This is going to be an interesting heat. Heat one. I like that. Okay, let's check out Cam Smith in the quarterfinal heat two. He laid down a 309. I think he was sandbagging a little bit to save some of his matchsticks. Let's see what we got. Marshall Graybill. Yeah, this one's gonna be tight too. I think you could see a Jeff Mogavero possibly sneaking into second. This will be interesting to see for sure. Okay, Jack Linehan, 315. Simon Zink. This one is also interesting. I mean, I think you could see any of those top four racers: Joshua Kailberger, Kale Burr, Baden Menton. Any of these getting into the top two. I think David Sinclair is a lock here. I think the experience that he maybe is lacking from only racing for a couple of years, he may need to slow it down a little bit. He's gonna make his way into the top two. He just needs to not use too many matchsticks. So I could expect to see a slower David Sinclair saving his energy for the semis and the finals. You also have a George Beck, Samuel Johnson. I could see this holding David Sinclair, George Beck. You could also see a Samuel Johnson working his way up through. Um, all right, let's check down. Let's see what we got. Nothing down there. Nothing working their way over. Okay.
Hey Max, I'm gonna go check in with some of our crew and see. I've heard that we may be starting another race heat coming up in the next 5 minutes. So
Okay.
stay tuned for that quick update. And we have some racers down here keeping warm, moving their legs. And a few racers I can see off in the distance over on under the Dinafit tent getting warmed up on the bikes. And seems to be like there's some movement down here.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you. All right, keep me posted. All right, we'll keep doing our commentary here, our play-by-play. Let's figure this out. So heat five, John. This is a savage heat because let's take a look. Let's go back to last year. If we look at the men's sprint results, Noah Brown was fourth. So let's keep that name in mind. Noah Brown fourth last year. Okay, so let's not forget Noah Brown fourth last year. Noah Brown right here, third in this heat, he could be one of the lucky losers. This could be a fast heat. You know, you could have a John Gaston, Tom Goth going out pretty fast. I could see Tom leading this, Gaston in hot pursuit, and Noah Brown lockstep with them. Also, you have a Joseph DeMore. This is going to be a savage heat. I think you could see the top four sticking together. You could see both lucky losers in Noah Brown and Joseph DeMore if Gaston and Tom Goth hold their top spots. Um, so this one could be
All right,
interesting.
Max, we have Heat 1 coming up.
Okay, Heat one coming up. They're working their way around here. The racers.
For the men's senior.
Okay, and let's. Who do we have first? Is that Ian Clark in the jeggings? 34, I think probably. All right, we have the racers making their way to the start line.
Hey, Max, just looks like we have a couple bib number changes down here as well. So just wanted to call that out for
Okay,
you.
what do you got? What do you have for bib number changes?
I haven't gotten the official list yet, but just looks like we have a couple just different changes here.
Okay. All right, looks like they're getting to the line now. Can you see anybody down bottom? What bibs are at the bottom?
Yes, it looks like the Heat 1 for senior racemen is lining up on the start line.
So Ian Clark, Wesley Perkins, Zane Wasico. Is Ian Clark in number 34? I think he usually wears the fake jeans. All right, we have the racers lining up. Referee walking across the front here. Now, again, if this is Heat 1, we're looking at Ian Clark, Wesley Perkins, Zane Wasico, Jackson Long, Mark Fliss. Ian Clark should be 34. Wesley Perkins, 42. Zane Wasico, 53. Jackson Long, 56. And Mark Fliss, number 31. We're looking for top two are going to guarantee their way. All right, Heat 1 is starting in 10 seconds. We are 10 seconds out. Here they go, and they're off.
Heat 1 is on the course, and that is bib number 344253,
Okay.
56, and 31.
All right. And they are off. Now, again, we remember we are looking for top two. We are looking for top two racers. Top two. All right, here we go. So we have Ian Clark in gray. Close here we have Zane Wasico, followed by Wesley Perkins, followed by Jackson Long. All right, let's see if this holds. Let's see if this holds. All right, as they're coming into the transition zone now. So Zane Wasico 53. Looks like Ian Clark left. Okay, Ian Clark's going to be out front, followed by Zane Wasico, followed by Wesley Perkins. Ian Clark just pounding up. So Ian Clark had that lightning quick qualifier time. So now they're getting to get to the top of the boot pack here. What they're going to want to do is now take the skis off the backpack, get them on the ground.
Two on the line, and to confirm,
All right, so now Ian Clark's putting his skis down, boom, right into the shoes, right into the boots. Zane Wasico, down and go. Wesley Perkins going to need to, there we go. So, and we're looking 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see if we can zoom in and get their top transition. All right, Ian Clark in front, Zane Wasico 2, Wesley Perkins 3, I believe. Okay, and Ian Clark out. He's been working on those transitions. That is wild, the speed at which Ian Clark's able to do that. All right, so here comes Ian Clark. So as long as he doesn't fall, he's gonna take that. We have 53, Zane Wasico 2. Wesley Perkins is gonna need to pick it up. He's gonna need to pick it up if he's gonna have to do some little stees right there. And so remember, they're gonna go all the way to the bottom, and then as they come around, we're gonna see them skate around to the finish. And there's Ian Clark, 1, Zane Wasico 2, Wesley Perkins 3. And it'll all depend on the speed of that heat to see if Wesley Perkins might be one of the lucky losers to get in there. All right, so let's split screen it because they're about to start another race shortly. They're lining up. They do them fast. They're going to get us. They're going to get us fast. Here we go. Let's see if we can see the heat 2. Oops. 1 minute out. All right, so again, let's look at heat 2. Heat 2. We're looking at Cam Smith, Marshall Graybill, Sam Burke. They're a few minutes out, or 1 minute out, a few seconds out, rather. All right, so we're looking at Cam Smith, Marshall Graybill, Sam Burke, Jeff Mogavero. All right, we're getting ready to start here. Now let's check out these scores, these times. Cam Smith 309 should have this in the bag to get to the next heat. Cam Smith is not going to want to use too many matchsticks. Here they go, and they're off. Heat 2 is on course. Here we go. Again, in this initial skin up, it looks flat-ish. I can tell you, it's like going up the stairs in your house. This is anything but flat. They're entering the diamonds. They're going to go ahead and pick which lane they want to go in. All right, coming up here. Okay, Marshall Graybill out fast. Cam Smith stalking. Now Cam really needs to get top two. Jeff Mogavero, Sam Burke. Okay, so that's our front pack, all four. So Marshall Graybill in front. And let's cut to our next camera. So Marshall Graybill is going to come into the transition zone first, followed by Cam Smith, followed by on the left, Jeff Mogavero, and then Sam Burke to the right. So Marshall Graybill's out first, Cam Smith right behind. Mogavero tends to have fast transitions. Let's see if this is any different. Mogavero out, Sam Burke right with him. So let's see if this holds. Going up the boot pack, first Marshall Graybill, two Cam Smith stalking. Looks like Sam Burke on the right in the rear and Mogavero left. So let's see if this is going to hold. Now, here's the thing. Cam Smith has a lot of experience here. He is saving that energy. He wants to make sure he has enough matchsticks left for the semifinals and then ultimately the finals. You just need to be top two. So Marshall Graybill might be using some of those matchsticks, maybe a few too many. Okay, far left is Mogavero. Then working our way right, Sam Burke. Okay, Marshall Graybill out first. Cam Smith about to follow him. But this is a tight one. This is definitely getting tight. So Marshall Graybill about to head out. Here's Cam Smith coming in behind. So Marshall Graybill's out. Cam Smith is about to do a double rip transition. Okay, so this is really a race for second place. Cam Smith out, looking like he's going to take it, the second place. Let's just confirm it. Okay, so here's Marshall Graybill. He's got time. He's just trying not to fall. Cam Smith has second place pretty much locked in. He just needs to take his time and make sure nothing crazy happens. And then coming down third right now is Jeff Mogavero. Let's cut to the finish. And here we see Marshall Graybill, one. Cam Smith is going to be two. Marshall Graybill, Cam Smith moving on to the semifinals. Jeff Mogavero sprinting to the end. There's a chance he may be able to get through with a lucky loser situation. And then Sam Burke, four. All right, we're about to get to move forward with heat three. All right, looks like all of our racers are across there. Heat three. Let's take a look who we're working with. Jack Linehan, Simon Zink, Joshua Kailburr, Baden Menton, Jacob Richards, and Henry Porter. They're getting lined up. And let's see, it's going to be Heat 3 is about to start. And I apologize in advance to Jack Linehan. I know he told me I said his name wrong last year. It's definitely not Linehan. So I'm going to say Linehan. How about that? I'm going to do that. I'll try to confirm it for next year. Jack Linehan. So let's see if Jack Linehan can keep it up front. And they're off. Okay, looks like probably Jack Linehan out front. Okay. All right, we have Jack Linehan. Jack's out front, followed by Joshua Kaleburr, followed by Simon Zink. All right, so as they're coming into the next transition, let's see if this holds. Okay, so we have Jack coming in first here into the transition zone, followed by Kaleburr and Simon Zink. All right, so that was a pretty fast transition there. Let's see if they're working their way up, pounding. This is some of the hardest stuff right here.
Number 49 just crossed the finish line accidentally. 49? Correct. He's coming to line 4.
All right, so at the top of this transition again, they need to now take the skis off of their backpack. Let's see if we can push in a little bit. Okay, skis down, step in, one click, pull up, one click, pull up, grab your poles, let's go. It's party time. Running to that top transition. Jack Linehan is a man on fire right now, just beasting. Let's see if we can catch him going into the next transition zone. Here comes Jack. All right, he's going to win this heat handily with a double rip transition. We're going to have to see who's two. I've lost track of who's in front, whether it's Simon Zink or Joshua Kaleburr, or if Baden Menton has sped up. Let's just see if we can keep. It's really going to be a race for second. There comes Jack Linehan. Little Steez right there. All right, let's see who we have. Who is it? And we have Simon Zink is going to take second. And we have a crash from Baden Menton. Looks like Baden Menton actually had passed. This could get a little sporty here. Let's see if we can stick with it. And let's cut down to the finish so we can see. All right. So moving on is Jack Linehan, Simon Zink, Baden Menton, and Joshua Kaleburr are going to have to hope for a lucky loser situation. Let's see. We got the Heat 4 lining up. Maybe starting any second. All right. So will the next racers come through the finish here? Let's cut over. All right. As those are starting, let's take a look. This Heat 4, we have David Sinclair, second place last year, George Beck, Samuel Johnson. This is going to be a race for second place. This is going to be very interesting to see. For example, George Beck did it in 3:25. Samuel Johnson did it in 3:34. Did Samuel Johnson just save a little bit more energy? You know, who's going to come out victorious here? Could it be a Jacob Marquette? Could we see a McLean Wright, a Henry York situation? All right, they should be starting shortly. And they're off. All right, now here's the thing. David Sinclair needs to not use too many matchsticks. He can't use all his kerosene, can't use all his rocket fuel in one go. All right, let's see who we have. All right, so David Sinclair out front as expected, but then we have a Jacob Marquette 2 and Samuel Johnson 3. Quite interesting. Okay, and we also have McLean Wright and Beck. So coming up at the top there, we have Sinclair, Samuel Johnson, and Jacob Marquette. So very interesting as they're coming into the next transition zone. All right, so this is David Sinclair coming in. This is going to be a race for second between Samuel Johnson and Jacob Marquette. Sinclair out. He just needs to make sure he doesn't use too much energy. And Johnson and Marquette both out, just side by side, neck and neck. Sinclair taking a peek back. Smart. He's just trying to use enough energy. He just wants to make sure that he's ahead of them enough. Now, George Beck has a ton of experience. He's been racing for the U.S. team in the youth division. So Beck, may have the better transition game. So maybe that's why Sinclair is keeping a little bit of, a little bit of a healthy lead. Sinclair has the engine. He just doesn't have as much experience, so something could go wrong. Knock on wood. But Sinclair has looked so strong. And did you see that? Samuel Johnson and Jacob Marquette both taking their skis down like they're mirror images of each other. All right. So Sinclair out. Samuel Johnson, Jacob Marquette out. Sinclair coming into the transition zone. He's got to take the skins off, put his boots into ski mode, put his skis into ski mode, tuck the skins away, zip them up, and head down. That's a pretty fast transition from David Sinclair. He's going to have that handily. The question is going to be Samuel Johnson or Jacob Marquette. Samuel Johnson or Jacob Marquette. That's what everyone's wondering. Here comes David Sinclair. He has a strong lead. He just needs to take it easy, make sure he hits all the gates. And this is what we're here for. Samuel Johnson and Jacob Marquette. Who do we have? We have Samuel Johnson, 1, followed by George Beck. So George Beck caught up. So Beck wants this. Let's see what they can do. I don't think we're going to have a lead change at the bottom, but you never know. Can he do it? Can Beck pass him? Can he do it? Is Beck going to pass him? George Beck! Is that George Beck? Did George Beck just get that pass? Emma, you want you to take off your mute. That was a wild bottom pass. Number 40?
Yes.
That is wild. George Beck, number 40. Listen, was not anywhere. Must have passed him on the boot cap. Boot pack caught me. They caught me sleeping. Totally insane. Ladies and gentlemen, George Beck just snuck his way into the semifinals. Super exciting. This is what we love. Let's check down to the bottom. Wow. Did you see that? George Beck coming around the bottom. Absolutely incredible. Let's make sure that you're not looking at this ugly mug. Let's take a look to make sure we're there for Heat 5. The last heat. We're going to have John Gaston, Tom Goth, Noah Brown. They're starting any second here. Let me get my hot hands. That was wild. 30 seconds to start. Let's see if we can get a little coffee action. All right. So let's take a quick look. We have 20 seconds. So Gaston 308, Tom Goth. I think this is going to be a Gaston Goth 1-2. They're going to get a nice healthy lead. But I think, mark my words, that they're going to set a fast enough pace. Even their slow pace is going to actually pull Noah Brown up faster. So let's look for Tom Goth in the yellow on the right, John Gaston on the left. So it looks like they're lockstep, Gaston and Goth. So Gaston's going to enter first. All right, so it looks like we're going to have Gaston out front. Now remember, this is a race. We need top 2. All right, so Gaston out front with Goth. Gaston needs to stay 1-2. We have Noah Brown in hot pursuit. Noah's going to try to stay with them and see what he can pull out. This is going to be very exciting to watch this. We got Gaston 1, Goth 2, Noah Brown 3. What is going to happen here? Noah Brown not letting them get away. Gaston and Goth undoubtedly wanted to get some separation with Noah Brown. Not going to happen. Noah's not letting that happen. Noah, fourth place last year. He wants to be somebody this year, be a podium, stay on that podium. But the transition may have just spelled disaster for Noah here. They were all together. Noah had a slower transition there. Okay, we got Gaston 1, Goss 2, Noah Brown 3. Can Noah Brown make up for a slow skin to boot transition? Let's see what happens here. We have Gaston on the right, Goth on the left. Okay, Gaston is in and away, Goth in and away. Noah Brown, can he close that gap, or will the two veterans run away with it? This is what they wanted to do. Noah Brown's year may, but remember what my idea was. There is a chance that Noah Brown's lap is fast enough that he's going to be a lucky loser to get in there. And Gaston's out lightning quick. See if we can stay with Gaston. All right, so we're going to go Gaston 1, or Tom Goth 2. But then again, we might have a race for third. We might have to cut back here really quick. 27. I don't have my sheet with me. This is interesting. Joseph Demore has passed Noah Brown. Joseph Demore may sneak into the semis. Joseph Demore may sneak into the semis with some top action, some fast action up top. Very, very interesting. So let's see if they've posted any of this. Let's take a look down bottom, see if they're starting with the women.
Hey, Max, we're taking a 5-minute break in between heats before the senior women come up next. Just need a little more time for some refs to finalize some timing.
Awesome. Thank you, Emma. Listen, as always, that's the amazing Emma Paulides down bottom. I'm not solo today, so it's not a one-man band. It's a two-person band. Thanks, Emma. All right. So let's take a look and see if we have any results coming in yet.
Matt, last year's coming in. I'm ready to verify finish order as soon as he does.
Okay, let's take a quick look. Senior men. Okay.
I've got 29, 30, 27, 32, 44, 58. Okay, thanks.
Okay. So let's take a look at these. Could be provisional. Tom Goth of that last heat. John Gass and Tom Goth. David Sinclair, Samuel Johnson. Dave Sinclair, George Beck. Now, interestingly enough, can you see this? Samuel Johnson made his way in as the lucky loser. So as you can see, he did it in 327. Joseph Demore just now and Noah Brown, they did it in 338, 340. So this could have been a John Gaston, Tom Goth actually not going in their top speed and slowing the pack down on the boot pack. So in that Jack Linehan, Simon Zink, it was just the two of them. Now this one, David Sinclair, George Beck, But George Beck and Samuel Johnson, though they were very close, Samuel Johnson makes his way in with a lucky loser situation. Okay, they're saying semifinal start list is
All
looking
right,
good.
Max, if you want to cut to the finish, actually, we have our next racers kind of coming across.
Okay, you can announce their numbers or their names if you want. If you see them.
Yeah, Grace Stauberg just came by. And then we have number 23.
Trisha Petzold.
Looks like a couple last minute skin adjustments. And then right behind me, we have some folks warming up too for the next heat.
All right. So if this holds, we should have. Let's check the start line. They should be lining up. Let's take a look at. Okay, and also there may have been some penalties on the men's. I'm just receiving word that they may need to adjust some times, and there are penalties for um, if you don't put your poles down in the transition zone, that can be a time penalty. You miss a gate. Um, if you're if you don't zip your skins, if your skins are flapping out, that can be a penalty. So the men's results are still provisional. Let's check back with the women. They're lining up. It should be Brooke Haynes, Kelly Wolf, Laura Tuttle, Rachel Hibaus, and Catherine Keel. Catherine Keel. Listen, Brooke Haynes on the U.S. national team had a really strong time. She's likely going to be from pack unless she used too many matchsticks. It's going to be a Kelly Wolf, Laura Tuttle for second and third situation. But remember, for the women, the top three of each heat will advance. So it looks like we're about to start now. They're getting ready. Okay. They should be getting going any minute. But remember, we're looking for top three. Top three. And if we again, let's check the score. The last year we have Haley Hafman was the top spot last year. So when we see her, let's see if let's mark that. We'll mark that for you at home. All right, should be getting going any second here. All right. Now remember, top three. So if you're first and second, you can afford to slow down a little bit now. But remember, they're starting in 30 seconds. Remember what Cam Smith was doing. You saw him in second. He may be the strongest racer today. We may see a Cam Smith podium for the men. What you saw Cam doing was stalking in second. He knew that as long as he could follow, I think he was following, I forget who, Marshall Graybill, possibly. And they're off. All right, here we go. So we got Brooke Haynes, Kelly Wolf, Laura Tuttle, Rachel Habaus, Catherine Keel. Catherine Keel. Okay. And if memory serves, Brooke usually wears a pink kit. So I think we're looking at Brooke Haynes on the left. But coming in front, oh no, Brooke Haynes is on the right, number 4. Okay, Brooke Haynes just beasting up. All right, and here comes Brooke Haynes. Has a pretty healthy 10-second lead. Just wants to make sure she doesn't use too much, but she's got a nice healthy lead. So at this point, Brooke could even have, but this is going to be a race for third. So we have Catherine Keel in second, a few seconds ahead of Laura Tuttle. Laura knows that this is a race for third, but we also have Kelly Wolf stalking. This is going to be quite interesting. Brooke Haynes coming in. We have Kelly. This is anybody's race, to be honest. We have Rachel Habaus also right there. This is going to be a race for third. Okay, Brooke Haynes is out. She's just what she wants to kind of show. Listen, I got the energy. Max, shut up about your matchsticks. I got plenty. Okay, so we also have Kelly Wolf, Laura Tuttle coming into the transition zone, as well as Catherine Keel, Rachel Habaus. So this is going to be a race for third. There is no lucky loser with the women. Look at that lightning speed transition. Brooke Haynes has at least a 20-second lead at this point. She's way up this boot pack. And everything seems to be going smoothly for Brooke Haynes. This is going to be a race. This is really close. Look at this pack. This pack of Kelly Wolf, Laura Tuttle, Rachel Habaus, Catherine Keel. This is wild. This is wild. We're going to see Brooke Haynes is already going to be coming down, but you know what's more interesting? We know Brooke's probably going to take this. We want to see who's out of this transition zone first. I've forgotten who's who, so I'll have to call it as they pass me. But this is a race between number 6, Kelly Wolf, number 10, Laura Tuttle, 23, Rachel Habaus. All right, we'll cut to Brooke really quick as she passes us. Unless something crazy happens, she's got this. But this is what we're talking about. This is a quarterfinal. We care about second and third place. If you make fourth by a second, you're going to regret pushing that energy at the top. Okay, somebody out of the top transition zone. Okay, here they're coming. Okay, and Kelly Wolf was able to make up some time there. And Laura Tuttle, it looks like Kelly Wolf and Laura Tuttle are going to be top 3 unless something happens. Knock on wood. Let's take a look down bottom. Kelly Wolf, Laura Tuttle, 2, 3. So we're going to be looking at Brooke Haynes 1, Kelly Wolf, Laura Tuttle 1, 2, 3. Let's make sure that we don't miss the start line of the next heat. We got a lot of action coming at you. Make sure you stay hydrated, everybody. This is that exciting. Eat your nutrition, eat your food, eat your lunch. All right. And they're off. No rest for the weary. Quarterfinal heat 2. Gwen Rudy and Jesse Young laying down monster speed times with 4:03 and 4:04 respectively. This is also going to be a race for third. We had Alyssa Wendt, Abby Bennett, Katie Burbank. They're all right in there. And that's Ron Winset in the middle taking the photos. Okay. Okay, here's as they're coming to the middle of the mountain here. We have one Gwen Rudy out front. Gwen Rudy has about a 3-second lead on the pack. And this is going to be a race for third, second and third. Let's see if we can have any lead changes here. Oh, someone going up the middle saying, you know what? I want this today. This is my day. I lost the bib numbers. But Gwen Rudy staying out front. This is going to be, there's 4 people, 3 slots. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we love to see. Gwen Rudy, Alyssa, Jesse Young, Abby Bennett. And Gwen Rudy out. I believe Jesse Young following, followed by Abby Bennett and Alyssa Went. And there's Gwen. This is so taxing on the body. This is straight up. But we have 4 people, 2 slots. Okay, Gwen skis down. She's got to step in, pick up poles. Let's go. She's off. I believe we have Jesse Young too. Uh-oh. Ski's getting stuck. I believe that could be Abby Bennett. Ski is getting stuck on the backpack, getting left behind. Unfortunate. This is what can happen. Can she catch them? That one transition may be the difference. And there's Gwen Rudy doing a double rip, skin transition. Fly like an eagle, Gwen. Here she goes. Gwen's got top spot. And here comes Gwen Rudy. And this is Jesse Young. It's going to get second. Most likely, this is that race for third. And it looks like Alyssa Went will get third. She's taking it easy, making sure that nothing crazy happens. And there's Abby Bennett. Unfortunate. Abby was doing so good, so strong, staying with that front pack, but ultimately got tripped up at the top. Boot to skin transition. So it looks like in that heat, we're going to go Gwen Rudy 1, Jesse Young 2, Alyssa Went 3. And we are moving on to quarterfinal heat 3 with the reigning champion, Haley Hafman. Let's zoom in on that, make sure we don't miss that start. And they're off. You don't get any rest with Skimo Sprint, ladies and gentlemen. Here goes Haley Hafman. We're also going to see Kristen Lane, number 7, and Samantha Paisley, number 9. This is likely what we're seeing now. Looks like Haley Hafman out front, Samantha Paisley on the left. Haley, so strong, winner of the individual and the vertical last year, wants a sprint title under her belt. Is this the year she can do it? All right, Haley Hafman coming out strong, has a good 12-second lead on the pack, wants to make sure she keeps it going. But this is really a race for third. We have Samantha Paisley and Kristen Lane have a couple second lead on Emily Olson stalking. Emily's not letting them out of her sights. Can she stick with the pack? This is a race for third. Will we see a lead change? This is what we love to see, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as Haley's coming into the transition zone, we have Haley 1, Kristen Lane 2, Samantha Paisley 3. Kristen Lane just passed Samantha Paisley, but we also have Emily Olson in hot pursuit. That's Kristen Lane coming in. And there we have Samantha Paisley. We may let Haley Hafman, the reigning champion, go. She is a woman on fire, but this is really a race for third, likely between Samantha Paisley and Emily Olson. It looks like Kristen Lane is out. Kristen Lane is in hot pursuit. But remember, this is a race for the top 3 racers will advance. And here we have Christy Polentz and Journey Fleischman. But check this out. Emily Olson not letting had a bit of a problem with the transition, was in the lead of Samantha Paisley. Samantha Paisley with a better transition. So Samantha Paisley on the right, Kristen Lane on the left. Oh, no. I'm sorry, I got a little confused. Okay, Haley Hafman top. Okay, Kristen Lane and Emily Olson are ahead. Looks like Emily Olson just passed Samantha Paisley. So unless Samantha Paisley can dig deep, it looks like we may have a Haley Hafman, Kristen Lane, Samantha Paisley one, or Emily Olson 1, 2, 3. Haley Hafman out, followed by Kristen Lane, maybe having a little bit of difficulty. Emily Olson may be able to catch up to her. Uh-oh. Kristen Lane having some difficulty at the top. She's in the middle. Okay, Kristen Lane finally out. Emily Olson right with her. Listen, they're both going to advance. Haley Hafman on her way down. All right, here's Haley Hafman, the reigning champion in individual and vertical. Very strong. Let's check back up because remember, this is a race for third. It looks like we are going to have Kristen Lane.
All right,
Oh,
Haley
we have a
just
race
crossed
for
the
her.
finish line.
Okay. Okay, we have Kristen Lane. Samantha Paisley just passed. Emily
Nice work.
Olson. This is insane. Did I just see that? Samantha Paisley, what? We should have been staying with third. Samantha Paisley just passed Emily Olson. Insane downhill skills. Unbelievable. Samantha Paisley just snuck her way into the semifinals. Samantha Paisley with a downhill pass. You never see that. Ladies and gentlemen, you never see a downhill pass. It just does not happen. We're going to have to check with the refs, make sure there was nothing nefarious there. It looks clean to me. That was wild. Samantha Paisley just snuck in. I can't believe what I just saw. I'm so glad we had the camera on it. Hopefully you all saw it at home. Emma, did you see that?
I did. That was crazy.
Samantha
Nice
Paisley
work.
must have just had an incredibly fast top transition.
We have
Wild. We
our
have another
next
one.
heat on the
Oh,
course.
they're already on. Okay, we have Laura Hamilton, Grace Staberg, Samantha Marin, Isabella Franz. Okay, they're coming up fast. This looks like Grace coming up top. She's got something to show. She wants to let everyone know. Listen, this is what's up. Also, the faster time that you get a different, you get choice of where you want to be. So here comes Grace. Here comes Grace now. She's got a good 20 seconds on the pack. She's looking super strong. Maybe she's going for that course record. Remember, this is a race for third. Right now we have Isabella Franz from Nederland looking good, a couple seconds ahead of Samantha Marin and Hannah Meck. This is going to be a race for third, looking super strong. Will we have a lead change? We have Isabella Franz on the left, Samantha Marin in the pink, and Hannah Meck. So it looks like Samantha Marin in the pink. Okay, so this is really, let's stay with the second pack. We don't want to miss what happened with Samantha Paisley just now. All right, so in the pink, we have Samantha Marin. To the left, we have Isabella Franz, and this is Hannah Meck, just coming in now with the camp backpack. All right, so Samantha Marin is out. Samantha Marin is out, and it looks like Franz is out, and Meck may be having a, okay, Meck is out as well. All right, so in order, we have one, Grace Staberg, just laying down a super fast time. Followed by Samantha Marin, followed by Isabella Franz and Hannah Meck. The question is, can Hannah Meck close that gap on Franz? And I didn't see who this last racer was, but this could be Haley Elliott, possibly Laura Hamilton, but I think it's Haley Elliott, closest to us. But we see Samantha Marin. Marin is out, followed by Franz. Here comes Meck. Meck has a little bit of a punt, a little bit of a kick. Here goes Meck. Can Meck maybe pull a Paisley? It's a new verb, new term of art. Let's stick here because this is the race for third and fourth. I don't want to miss it. Meck putting down. Can Meck catch up? Grace Staberg just passed me. She's gonna win handily. Okay, Meck chasing. Can Meck pull a Paisley? So coming into the transitions, or coming out rather, so Samantha Marin is going to get second, most likely. Coming in right there, that's Isabella Franz. And then where is Hannah Meck? Where is Meck?
Grace just crossed the finish line down here. Nice work, Grace.
Okay, gotta stuff the things away. Can Meck pass Franz? Franz is out, unless he can pull a Paisley. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like. Oh,
Followed by Lara Hamilton.
yeah, Isabella Franz is going to likely get third. All right, I'll cut back down to you, Emma. There's Samantha Marin.
Yep, Lara just crossed the finish line, and Grace a little bit before her. Looks like we've got number
Samantha
15,
Marin.
Isabella Franz, coming in.
Okay, so it looks like 1, 2, 3, Staberg, Marin, Franz. All right, let's see if they've updated any of that. Let's take a look online while these last races are coming in. Emma, can you find out when the semifinals are, or should I radio?
Yes, I'll go check in now.
Okay. All right. Here we are. Listen, if you're just joining us, you know what I'm going to do. This is the USA National Championship. This is the Wasatch Powder Keg. We're doing Skimo sprint. The semis are starting shortly. All right. So we've done it. We've had our qualifiers. We've had our quarterfinals. What's next? The semis. You roll your way into the semis. It's a line from Big Lebowski. All right, let's zoom in. Let's take a look at these heats. Let's see if we can make any sort of predictions. I don't need to talk to the radio people because I know we're going to a final of 6. We have 2 semifinal heats of 6. Top 3 advance. So let's take a look. These are some tasty, tasty semifinal heat lists. Let's take a look. I got to get my hand warmers out. I'm freezing. All right. So we have Ian Clark, Cam Smith, Jack Linehan, Marshall Graybill, Wesley Perkins, Zane Wasico. Okay, let's see if we can zoom. See if we can zoom so you can really see. Okay, so what are we thinking here? Ian Clark laying down the fastest qualifier time of the day. I think we could see an Ian Clark advance. I think that's a good probability. Same with a Cam Smith. So really, this is going to be a race for third. Who are we thinking? Are we thinking we're going to see a Jack Linehan, a Marshall Graybill, a Wesley Perkins, who I believe has been racing in U23. He's probably one of the younger racers. A Zane Wasico. What are we thinking now? Ian Clark is going to get to pick his spot. He's probably going to pick one of the middle lanes, as will Cam Smith, so he doesn't have to come in from the outside. Who are we thinking is going to be that 3? I think we need to keep our eye out for a Marshall Graybill, a Jack Linehan. I mean, Jack Linehan has been so strong the last couple years, but then again, Marshall Graybill, during his quarterfinals, just took off and just said, you know what? Try to catch me. So this is going to be a great race for third. Let's keep an eye on Jack Linehan, Graybill, Perkins, Wasico. Let's analyze the next one. Another tasty set. We got David Sinclair, got second place last year. John Gaston, Simon Zink, Tom Goth, George Beck, Sam Johnson. Now, what are we thinking here? I think we're going to see David Sinclair go through. I think we're going to see a Gaston go through. I think this is also another race for third. Now, Tom Goth, probably the most experienced Skimo racer here today. Has he played his cards perfectly? He's coming into the semifinals, 4th place. He's probably still going to get a middle lane. He's not going to be on one of the outside lanes. Has Tom Goth saved himself? Tom Goth won 2 years ago. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at previous years. Tom Goth was the reigning champ, is the reigning champ, or was the reigning champion for the 2023 Skimo Sprint. Ian Clark, again, reminder about this pain. Ian Clark got 4th. He lost to Adam Loomis by 5/100ths of a second. I mean, that is literally a little snowflake slowed him down 5/100ths of a second, 0.05 seconds. Marshall Graybill also got 6th, has been eyeing the podium in the sprint. So what are we going to see today? I think we could see an Ian Clark get his way into the finals. Let's go back to this. We want to make sure we don't miss anything. Nothing going on down there. All right, so I think we're going to have a David Sinclair, John Gaston moving on. For my money, let's do it like the NBA commentators. What do you think, Chuck? I think you mean Tom Goth has the experience. I don't know. I'm going to say Tom Goth sneaks his way through. David Sinclair, John Gaston, Tom Goth is what I'm calling. And then up here, Ian Clark, Cam Smith, and then I think maybe a Marshall Graybill sneaks his way in. I'd love to see a Wesley Perkins, young man out of Park City, see him, pull a rabbit out of his hat. Love to see a Zane Wassico, Jack Linehan, but it remains to be seen. All right, so let's take a look, see if the women's semifinals, the women's heats are out. Let's take a quick look online. Okay, the women's semifinals are out. So let's analyze those as well while we're waiting. Do we have an ETA on the semifinals?
Number one is going to start at 2:05.
Thank you. So we are 3 minutes out, ladies and gentlemen. This is exciting. We need to play the music. Let's go. This is the Skimo Sprint, ladies and gentlemen. The USA National Championship. I'm your host, Max Valverde. Down bottom, I have Emma Paulides with us. We are so excited to be here. The semifinals are starting in a few minutes. Let's take a look at the men. Before we do that, the men are going to start in a minute. Let's just take a quick look at the women. I just want to analyze the two heats. We got a Brooke Haynes who's looking so strong today. Gwen Rudy, Jesse Young. This heat's going to be totally bananas, but I think it could stick with a 1-2-3. Brooke, Gwen, Jesse, Haynes, Rudy, Young.
Hot chocolate at the top transition, please.
They need hot chocolate at the top transition. It gets cold up there. All right, I have hot coffee here if he needs it.
Is this a Starbucks?
If you want to come down to the media tent here at Mid Mountain, I have coffee. I don't have a cup though, but I got hot coffee. Not a coffee drinker, unfortunate. All right, so moving on. Semifinals Heat 2.
Semifinal heat number one is on the line. We have number 53, 36, 34.
Okay, they're on the line. Let's just go. Let's get ready for this. We don't want to miss this semifinal heat. Oops, excuse the zooming. They're starting in a couple minutes. All right. So, Ian Clark, Cam Smith, Jack Linehan, Marshall Graybill, Wesley Perkins, Zane Wassico. This is going to be a race for third. I know I say it a lot, but this is what it is. Leading up to the finals, we're going to see an Ian Clark, Cam Smith early lead out. I think we could see an Ian Clark 1, Cam Smith 2. Cam Smith has the experience to hang. Ian Clark is just a total animal and just doesn't care about race strategy. He just runs up the mountain and just sets course records. I mean, his 2:49.84. I don't think anyone's done this course in that speed. I think Ian Clark gets the course record today. It's usually his MO. He's so excited about Skimo Sprint. So I think we're going to go Ian Clark 1, Cam Smith 2, and here they go.
Semifinal men, heat one are on course.
All right, so let's keep an eye out. All right, so they're coming up quick. Caught me sleeping. All right. All right, so coming in hot. Let's have Jack Linehan coming in hot in front, or Ian Clark, Jack Linehan, Cam Smith, 1-2-3. They're going super strong and in hot pursuit. The rest of the pack. If this holds, that's going to be our 1-2-3. We're looking at Ian Clark. Emma, your audio's kind of loud, Emma. All right, so we have coming in first, Ian Clark in the middle. We have Jack Linehan on the right, Cam Smith on the left. Cam Smith, okay, they're out together. Ian Clark left, Jack Linehan. Cam Smith might be having some difficulty with his transition. I think Cam's, oh no. Oh no, Cam Smith's already gone. Wow, they're fast. All right, so looks like Jack Linehan in yellow, Ian Clark out front, Cam Smith 3. Let's see if this holds. These are going to be our 1, 2, 3 save a transition issue. Ian Clark puts his skis down. Cam Smith puts his skis down. Jack Linehan down. Ian Clark out. Cam out. Jack Linehan out. Here they go. They are flying through this course. This is what they call the Ian Clark Speed Special in the industry. Here comes Ian Clark with Cam Smith right behind. Now, Cam Smith, the World Cup racer, races for the United States in Europe, may have a little bit more experience in these transitions. Looks like he's may pass Ian Clark. Yeah, Cam Smith out front. Listen, Ian Clark doesn't need to do anything crazy to fight with Cam Smith on this. They're both going to advance unless somebody falls. Knock on wood. Everything's looking good. Cam Smith 1 has a healthy lead. Ian Clark 2 and Jack Linehan 3. This is going to be our 1, 2, 3, ladies and gentlemen. We will see these 3 in the finals unless we have a crash. But we are looking good in the hood. 1, 2, 3. Cam Smith 1. Ian Clark 2. Jack Linehan 3. Now did Ian Clark leave a little energy on the table? Let's make sure that we don't miss this next start.
I have passed off medal duties to Michelle and Patty, so go to them.
Okay, they're lining up.
And I am headed out. Copy that. Thank you.
All right, so who do we have here? Let's try to get warmed up. Have a little coffee. Okay, we have David Sinclair, John Gaston, Simon Zink, Tom Goff, George Beck, Sam Johnson. This is going to be a crazy one. I think we're going to have a race for third. I think Simon Zink, Tom Goff, George Beck. It could be anyone's game.
I am ready for starter for E1. I marked 45, 34, 36, 33, 50.
Okay, here we go. They're about to go. I'm slowly freezing to death here, but we should be starting any second. David Sinclair, John Gaston, likely going to be 1, 2. It's a race for third. Will we see Simon Zink, Tom Goff, George Beck? You never know. Could we see a Sam Johnson rabbit out of the hat? I think we're going to see a Tom Goff and Zink fighting for this. But you never know. You never know on any given Skimo day. Let's take a look. They're about to start. All right, remember, we are looking for top 3. We are looking for top 3. They're about to start. And they're off. Okay, we have Tom Goff, second from the right in the yellow. David Sinclair likely out front. And Goff is just going to stalk Sinclair. I could see Goff being comfortable with the second or third. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Gaston. So it looks like, okay. Yeah. Okay. We're going to see a David Sinclair out front being chased. Okay. And Gaston in third. This is interesting. So we're actually seeing Simon Zink right there. So we have David Sinclair 1, Zink and Goff neck and neck for 2. and Gaston in 3. Gaston may have used a little bit too much energy on his previous legs. Let's see. Okay, and David Sinclair out of the transition zone, up the boot pack. Tom Goth out, and Simon Zink 3. Gaston out too. All right, so David Sinclair 1, Goth 2, Zink and Gaston 3, 4. Now, this is the question. Does Gaston have the experience to pull a rabbit out of a hat in this top transition? There goes David Sinclair out. Tom Goth is about to be out. We're going to stay with 3 and 4 so we don't miss anything. Okay, looks like Simon Zink out. Can Gaston chase him down? Can he do it? That is the question. Here goes. Okay, we're looking at David Sinclair 1 out. Goth is going to likely follow. This is going to be a race for 3rd and 4th. We may not even cut away to see David Sinclair. He's skiing down. We got to see this. He's skiing down with his poles in one hand. Talk about confidence. What a savage. All right. And they're out. 2, 3. Okay. I missed it again. This is crazy. This is wild. Gaston 2. Zink 3. Can Goth chase him down? Something happened in the top transition. We're going to cut to the bottom. Oh, we have a
And
crash.
Goth just passed.
We have a crash. I think Zink may have just
Gaston, second.
wiped out. Goth makes his way in. I think Zink just crashed. Oh no, that you never like to see that. Simon Zink was tracking for 3rd. That's unfortunate. Emma, can you confirm that we had David Sinclair 1, John Gaston 2, and Goth 3? Simon Zink came in 4th. He crashed?
Confirmed.
Yeah, unfortunate. You never like to see that, ladies and gentlemen. That's unfortunate. Simon Zink was looking so strong. Now, if we check this out here, let's take a look at them coming in. Simon Zink was tracking 3rd. He was seeded 3rd. He laid down times in the qualies to be 3rd. Just didn't happen for him. That's unfortunate. Let's just check on the radio. There may be some penalties.
So what happened is he came off the line, still crossed the line, poles in his hand, kept his poles in his hand, put his ski back on. So I'm not sure if that's one penalty or two.
Okay.
Alright, so this is market timing. Just sort it out and let me know what you apply, and I'll do it.
Okay, so we had a ski pop off.
Minimum of one 10-second penalty for now.
Someone's going to get a 10-second penalty.
Copy. I'll put it in as Charlie 23, 10 seconds for now.
Someone's going to get a 10-second penalty. I'm not sure who. Emma, did you see somebody ski pop off?
Yes, at the top transition, I saw a ski popped off and a backup to collect that ski and place it on.
Number 4, I believe, was late
Okay.
to start, but she's on course.
Next heat is up and on course.
All right. Do we know who this is? Oh, is this the women?
Which one started late?
We had a late start to the start line for one of the racers.
Okay.
Confirming number.
Started late.
Brooke Haynes started late. I'm not sure if that's going to be a penalty or not. All right. So we have Gwen, Rudy, out front. Jesse Young. This is going to be an interesting heat. We've got a lot of great racers here. So it looks like Gwen Rudy's going to be out front, followed by Brooke Haynes and Jesse Young.
Do you have footage or anything of that penalty? Yes, I just sent it to WhatsApp. Thank you.
All right, so Gwen Rudy first into the transition zone, followed by Brooke Haynes, followed by Jesse Young. Emma, do you know down bottom if there's going to be a penalty for Brooke Haynes? Is there a late start?
I'll confirm.
Okay. All right, so they're heading up. Looks like Gwen Rudy out top, followed by Brooke Haynes. Provisional, there may be a penalty. I may be talking at a turn, followed by 3, Jesse Young, and then the rest of the pack, Kelly Wolf, Laura Tuttle, and Alyssa Wendt. They are all together. This is anybody's race. This is why we love Skimo Sprint, ladies and gentlemen. Transitions can be anywhere from 7 to 20 seconds. Gwen Rudy coming in first into the top transition, followed by Brooke Haynes, followed by Jesse Young. Let's see if we can keep track of them. Okay,
Not
Gwen.
looking like there's going to be a penalty as of yet for that late start there.
Okay. Like literally she just like came to the line late.
So the racers took off, and Brooke was still coming down around the corner to the finish or start line
Oh, okay.
and pulled through.
Insane. So no penalty, but if she can get a second place, so it looks like Gwen Rudy coming in hot. Brooke Haynes had started maybe 10 seconds after everybody else. Probably has their adrenaline pumping. Hopefully she doesn't use too many matchsticks on this semifinal. But this is going to be a race for third. Wow. We're not going to cut away to Gwen Rudy. We're going to stay at the top and watch. Looks like Brooke Haynes out one. And then I believe we saw Jesse Young. Let's actually cut to Gwen right here. Gwen's looking good. And who do we have? Brooke Haynes, followed by Jesse Young. They're 1, 2, 3. There's nobody around. Unless something happens, this is going to be our 1, 2, 3. Remember, this is a.
Oh, it
Oh
looks like there
no.
was a pass. Now there's a spill.
Jesse Young went down. I think he may have missed a gate and then just went down. That's unfortunate. So Emma, can you watch to see who 1, 2, 3 is? Because it looks like Jesse Young is
Yep.
no longer
Gwyn
third.
in first. Number 5 in second.
Oh, Brooke fell? Okay, but it looks
And
like
Brooke
Brooke,
in third.
she may have fallen and missed a gate. So we have Gwen Rudy 1. Well, we can check it on the online, but I think it's Gwen Rudy 1, possibly Jesse Young 2. I don't know if Brooke missed a gate because I think the person who fell may have missed a gate. We'll see in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, Skimo Sprint. Is there anything more interesting in the world? Let's see. Let's make sure that we're not going to miss anything down bottom. So you're not looking at this mug. I think they're about to start the second women's heat. Let's zoom in. We got Haley Hafman, the winner of the mixed relay with Cam Smith yesterday in this heat. We got Grace Staberg, Kristen Lane, Samantha Paisley, Samantha Marin, and Isabella Franz. All right, and they're off. I think we should see a pretty clear 1, 2, 3. Haley, Grace, Kristen, Hafman, Staberg, Lane, respectively. But you never know. You could see a Samantha Paisley, her move in her last quarterfinal, passing on the downhill, unheard of. Have never seen it happen before. Okay, Haley Hafman out front. We got Hafman out front. Okay, let's see if we can stay with them. Give you that A plus coverage. Hafman 1. Hafman out front, being stalked by Grace Staberg. Hafman out front probably has an 8-second lead on Staberg and the pack, looking so strong. Grace, a few seconds ahead of Kristen Lane, stalking. We have a 1-2-3. Kristen's about 4 seconds ahead of Marin. Marin trying to sneak into the finals. Can she get into a third place spot? She's eyeing the pack. This is going to be a race for third. And then can Samantha Paisley pull an insane downhill pass again? We'll watch for it, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Coming into the top transition, we have Hafman. 2, we have Grace Stayberg. 3, Kristen Lane. 4, Samantha Marin. All right, Stayberg is out. Kristen Lane is out. Hafman looking so strong. Again, trying to not go too fast. Hafman does not want to use too much energy. There are finals coming up. Same with Grace. Stayberg is in lockstep with Hafman, wants to show, listen, I'm here for a reason. Same with Kristen Lane. Say, don't forget about me. And here comes Samantha Marin, stalking in the pink. Marin has not let up. She's not letting up. Listen, we're going to stay with the 3 and 4. We're going to stay with Marin and Lane. Samantha Marin in the pink. Lane working her way up. Marin may be slowing down. Hafman is out of the top transition zone. Stayberg is out. Okay. Kristen Lane skis down, kind of slightly obstructed. Okay. And Kristen Lane may be having some transition difficulty. Okay. Kristen Lane is out. Can Samantha Marin pass? That's the question. Let's stay with this front group for a second. All right. Looks like Hafman is out and down, followed by Grace Stayberg. Okay. Kristen Lane into the top transition zone. We're going to stay with that top group. Okay. It looks like Samantha Marin may with her top transition. So we're going to cut back to this is Grace. 1, 2. And let's check the bottom to see Haley. And unless we have a crash, we are expecting 1, 2, 3. This is our 1, 2, 3 in Kristen Lane. Kristen Lane will be the last person in the women's final. All right, we saw it here. Looks like we have a Haley Hafman, 1, Grace Stayberg, 2, Kristen Lane, 3. Oh, there's a little race for fourth. You gotta love it. All right, who's off? Who's racing now?
We forgot to flip the gate and the master's men are on.
Okay, Masters men.
Sure, that's okay. I'll put in the manual time. It was on time, right?
Yes, it was on the time, and these are masters, so it's finals, so it's whoever's crosses the finish line first.
All right, this is Masters final. All right, we are in the Masters finals. This happened fast. 62, 61. So Bart Gillespie followed by Coulter Lays. So Bart Gillespie 1, Coulter Lays 2, followed by Steve Wu. Let's see if this can hold. Bart Gillespie 1, Coulter Lays 2, Steve Wu 3. Let's see if it will hold. Also, Christopher Heinrich chasing.
Okay, we can do 235 if you like. I haven't announced anything yet.
All right, so Bart Gillespie
I'll let Sarah make that call.
likely out first, followed by Coulter Lays.
Yeah, we need to go as soon as we can. But also, can I clarify the women's finals aren't set yet, right?
Actually,
All right, they are cranking up this.
confirm first order with Q with Matt.
So Bart Gillespie 1, Coulter Lays 2. They spread out pretty good. They have their. They're having their order here. There's some penalties in the women's uh, pro final, so we're gonna have to check those results as soon as this Masters final is over. This is the Masters final. It looks like Bart Gillespie out, I believe, unless Coulter passed him. All right, let's stay with that front racer into the top transition. All right, so we have Bart Gillespie and Coulter Lays 1, 2, but it looks like there's some trouble at the top here. These two are together, and I believe that we're looking at up there. I think we're looking at Christopher Heinrich and Steve Wu. Christopher Heinrich may have passed Steve Wu. Let's see who we have coming down, who has a pretty healthy lead here. So we're looking at Bart Gillespie. Is looking like he's going to take it, save any sort of disaster. Followed by Coulter Lays. And there's Bart Gillespie going to get the win. Bart Gillespie 1, Coulter Lays 2, Steve Wu likely going to get 3, and Christopher Heinrich is likely going to finish 4. That's the order we're seeing.
That's 235 for the men's final start.
All right. Did you hear the radio? Did you hear it? Men's final start, 2:35. We're looking at 5.5 minutes away for the men's final start. Let's take a look at last year. Let's take a look at this. Okay, David Sinclair was a Nordic racer. Had not done Skimo before. It was like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids. Who are those guys? Got second. David Sinclair coming out of nowhere, massive aerobic engine, beasting off the Riesling, makes his way up. Let's see if we can see what the rankings are, what the start lists are. My fingers are so cold, they're not actually activating my mouse. But I do it here for you, ladies and gentlemen. The finals. Let's check the finals. Okay. Let's see if we can cast this up for you. We're 5 minutes away. Okay. We have our top times too on the right. Can you see this? I hope you can. We're looking at Ian Clark always lays down a hard, fast time. Sometimes he overshoots it and actually does a slower final because he's so darn tired. Because he uses too much energy in his qualifiers and his quarterfinals and his semifinals. David Sinclair, second place last year. comes from the Nordic community, comes out of nowhere like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Who are those guys? Who is that guy? It's David Sinclair. Okay, he's going to be all over the place. John Gaston, not typically a sprinter, but a legend in Skimo. Like so many, Google his name and the word Skimo and see of all the things he's won. Typically, he wins longer events, like the individual. Last year, he won the individual and the vertical. He's not typically a sprinter, but don't count him out. He has a lot of experience. He may have been sandbagging this whole time. Same thing at Cam Smith. Cam's probably the most experienced sprinter. He's sprinted over in Europe under the World Cup circuit for the USA. You can probably watch him, follow him here. I have his little thing. Let's. I'm not Cam Smith, but this is Cam Smith. Oh, I don't have his social media on there. Apologies. But watch Cam when he races over in Europe. He has probably the most experience, especially in this sort of dynamic, the gameplay, the gamesmanship of not actually using all your matchsticks too early. Jack Linehan, Marshall Graybill, also very experienced racers. Maybe they can pull something out. For my money, I'd be looking at an Ian Clark, David Sinclair, Cam Smith situation. Personally, I think Gaston is one of the strongest long distance racers. I think he'd have to do something really special to win this. I think we could see a Gaston podium, but I'm super excited to see what we got going on. Let's check down to the bottom, make sure. Okay, nobody there. But why don't we get our camera ready? Since we're also doing it live via satellite, it's just me. We're doing the cameras and Emma. Don't forget Emma. All right, there we go. Let's keep an eye on that. And if you're just joining us, this is the Wasatch Powder Keg. You're here, the USA National Championships. We're happy that you're here with us. Skimo Sprint. Finals are starting shortly. Stay with us. We could be starting in as little as 2 minutes. Racers are getting to the line. All right. We're here. I'm your host. It's Max Valverde. That's not me. That's Oscar Angeloni. This is me, Max Valverde. I'm filming for you, commentating. We're about to start. We're not going to start in 1 minute. We're going to start in a few minutes. Stay with us. The men's finals are going to start. This is the road to 2026. You may be seeing the U.S. male Olympian that will go and race for America right here, right now. Let's make sure we don't miss it. They're lining up now. This is the Skimo Sprint. Winner take all. We're looking for a podium 1, 2, and 3. We're going to stay with that front pack. My hands are freezing off. Emma's
Max, I'm
talking.
going to head over to the start line and get a closer up look at the athletes who are entering the men's finals.
Sure. I'll cut over to you as soon as you're there. All right. So we're looking at the final. They're starting to line up. What is strategy here? What is your race strategy? Do you go out fast or do you stalk? If you're a stalker, I say Cam Smith might be a stalk. He might stalk Ian Clark. Cam Smith has the experience. He's going to stalk Ian Clark, and then maybe on the top boot pack, Cam Smith just takes off. Boom! Cashes in all those chips. And we could see a Cam Smith win here. Don't forget about David Sinclair. Maybe doesn't have as much Skimo experience, but maybe he's got the engine. He is the Energizer Bunny when it comes to sprint. Got second place last year. All right. So this is brought to you by Skimo Skis. Come on, get on a little, ski a little. Also brought to you by Skins. Come on, stick something on the bottom of your skis. Those are our fake sponsors. 1 minute men's senior final. 33. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Max, I'm here.
Hey,
We're 1 minute out.
okay. Go right up close.
Number 29, 26, 25, 34, 36, 33 are on the line, starting in less than 1 minute.
Okay, less than 1 minute.
So you're going to start them at 2:37. Is that correct?
Okay, we got just from visuals. We know we have John Gaston in the USA colors to the left. In the middle, in the yellow helmet, is Ian Clark. Is this Tom Goth second from the end? Oh no, he's not in the final. Do you have any other? We can call it. Do you know the number of the person on the right there, Emma?
Yeah, 33.
Okay, so that's Marshall Graybill on the right. I think Jack Linehand's yellow. Here they go.
Men's final has started.
Copy.
All right, this is the men's final. Leave it all. Ian Clark has not podiumed in the last 2 years, but I think has laid down the course record more times than I can count. But looks like Marshall Graybill, super fast. What am I seeing here? This is wild. All right, Cam Smith out front, a few steps ahead of David Sinclair, Marshall Graybill, Ian Clark, and here we go. And there's Jack Linehan. Here we go. Here they go. David Sinclair trying to stay with Cam Smith. Ian Clark, can he hang on? Did he use too many matchsticks earlier? That's the question that everybody wants to know. All right. Here comes David Sinclair. David Sinclair in first. David Sinclair may be ahead of Cam Smith. Sinclair out first. Sinclair is so fast. Cam Smith 2, Ian Clark 3. Wow. Cam Smith is 2, Ian Clark 3. David Sinclair wants that podium. David Sinclair wants everyone to know I'm not a Nordic guy. Max, stop calling me a Nordic guy. I'm a Skimo guy. When you're the reigning champ of Skimo Sprint, you're a Skimo guy. David Sinclair in fast. He's been working on his transitions. I don't know, though. Cam Smith may pass him here. Cam Smith does not want to give up this. Oh, Cam Smith out first. Cam Smith with a faster top transition. David Sinclair's going to have to make this up. David Sinclair knows he just got passed by Cam Smith on that top transition. Sinclair stalking Ian Clark 3. They may be able to pull a Samantha Paisley and do it. Oh, Cam Smith just slipped a little bit. Cam Smith in first, double rip. David Sinclair 2, Ian Clark 3. Cam Smith is out. Sinclair's out. They're stalking. Let's see if we can stay with it. Oh, David Sinclair with an overtake. That was wild. I think David Sinclair just, I cannot believe my eyes. David Sinclair just overtook Cam Smith. David Sinclair, unless there is something, David Sinclair is going to get the top win. He overtook Cam Smith. That was wild. Sinclair 1, Cam Smith 2, Ian Clark 3. That was wild. So we're going to have David Sinclair wants everyone to know he's a Skimo guy. David Sinclair just won Skimo Sprint provisional, provided there are no penalties. David Sinclair just won the Skimo Sprint. He's dead, and he passed away.
Final is on the line. We have number 4, number 5, number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 6.
All right, David Sinclair laying down. Those are his feet up in the air. I think he just passed away from exertion. David Sinclair knows how to dig into the pain cave. Let's make sure our camera's all ready. Emma, are you going to go get the start? Or do you want me to just do regular? Women are about to start. We have Brooke Haynes, Haley Hafman, Gwen Rudy, Jesse Young, Grace Staberg, and Kelly Wolf. Who will it be? Let's take a look at, I think we have a second to take a look at this. Oh, they're saying senior men finish order. Let's just listen in. I'll get interrupted in a second.
Women's finals are on the start line.
Women's finals are on the start line. Okay, they're off. We're going to cut back. Okay, so we have Brooke Haynes, Haley Hafman, Gwen Rudy, Jesse Young, Grace Staberg, Kelly Wolf. All right. Okay, Haley Hafman on the right. Looks like we may have Brooke Haynes on the left. All right. So Haley Hafman out front. Haley Hafman out front. Gwen Rudy number one. Jesse Young here. Brooke Haynes. So we have Jesse Young, Gwen Rudy, and Brooke Haynes all together. Haley out front. Haley with a bit of a stumble. Haley out front. Jesse Young 2. Gwen Rudy 3. Brooke Haynes 4. Brooke Haynes may have used up some of that energy to try to run to the start line in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals rather. All right, so we have Haley Hafman in first, followed by Jesse Young. Jesse Young with a lightning quick transition. Jesse Young just passed. Haley may have had some difficulty in that transition. Haley not going to have it. Not going to have it. Haley on the right. Jesse Young in front. Brooke Haynes in the middle. I'm assuming Gwen Rudy on the left. This is anybody's game. Jesse Young, a mom, took some years off. This is amazing. If we see a Jesse Young podium, Jesse Young win, Jesse Young gold. Haley on the right seems to be dropping. Looks like Jesse Young getting in front, followed by Gwen Rudy, followed by Brooke Haynes, followed by Haley Hafman fourth. Haley may get pushed off the podium because of that skin to boot transition. All right, looks like Jesse Young out. Incredible. Okay, Haley possibly catching up though. Don't discount Haley Hafman. All right, let's get to that top transition. All right, somehow this got zoomed out. All right, Jesse Young in first. Let's see. Let's see. What do we have? I can't quite see who's who. I'm going to have to call it when they come next to me. Oh, wow. Almost went down. Jesse Young in front. We're going to stay with her. Gwen Rudy chasing. Jesse Young 1. Gwen Rudy 2. It's slippery down there. And I lost Emma's feed. So I'm going to have to do it from up here. Jesse Young taking the sprint, followed by Gwen Rudy, and I don't know who 3 is. It's either Brooke Haynes or Haley Hafman. Amazing. Incredible, incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Skimo Sprint, men and women. We're going to have the youth in a minute. Stay with us. Let me call down to Emma. Emma, I lost your camera down there.
Hey, Mark, here we go. 5-1-2-4-6-3.
Okay, 512. Jesse Young, 1. Gwen Rudy, 2. Haley Hafman, 3. Haley made up the time up top. But Jesse Young, incredible. I mean, this is incredible. Like, there was an article in Ultimate Direction. If you Google Jesse Young Skimo, she won her 4th Ski Mountain champion in 5 years. In 2019, there was an article on her on racing and raising a new baby. So she's a mom. Gotta love that. Mad props to the mom winning Skimo Sprint. That's incredible. Congratulations to Jesse Young. Glenn Rudy getting second. Haley Hafman. Oh, you back?
And 2:45 course preview, so I think we're good. We're back on schedule.
Perfect. I might try to even move that up if we can.
I mean, I'm okay with that if you got them lined up.
All right, this is the youth coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, it's the Wasatch Powder Keg. It's the USA National Championship. We got the youth division coming on right now. I'm your host, Max Valverde. Down bottom, we have Emma Paulini. The youth division is about to start. Qualifiers are scheduled to start at 3:15 Mountain Time. That's in 27 minutes from now, but they may move it up. There also is going to be course inspection, so you're going to see them walking up anytime now. Here they come. They're coming up behind me. So, ladies and gentlemen, maybe we'll even turn the camera over to them, see what they want to see if they want to say something. Say a couple hi moms down bottom. But this is the youth division. Let's get into some of the. Let's take a look down bottom while they're coming up. Let's take a look at some of the stuff from last year. U16s. Oh, let's get the Max Valverde out of the way there. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Men's U16 sprint, Sam Kirshner, Ben Bigwood, they were neck and neck. I think there could have been a photo finish. Joshy Toy. That's interesting for the U16. Women's 16, I messed up. I did the exact same 1, 2, 3. I don't think it was Kareen Higgins, Sienna Peterson, McCall Birkinshaw. I apologize. This one may be messed up. Men's U14 sprint. So we're going to go through these one by one and remind me on the women's U16. We have to do it a little differently. Ladies and gentlemen, this is course inspection. They're working their way up. They're checking it out for ice. They're trying to see what they want to do. They're coming up behind me now. This is the youth division getting ready, checking out the course. How's it looking? We liking it? Is it icy? Is it good? All right. Let's walk around a little bit. They're doing a little course inspection. How's it going? Let's see it. Let's see it. So they're all coming up. They're checking it out. They're trying to find what line they want to take on the diamonds. See, checking it out left, right. We're scoping. We're getting fired up. This is Skimo Sprint, ladies and gentlemen. Got 87 Landon Jacob here checking it out, scoping it out. What are we thinking? What are we feeling? Saying a couple hi moms. All right. They're scoping it out. What are we thinking? What are we liking? They're checking it out, inspecting, going to do their transitions, trying to see what is going to work for them. So while they're inspecting, what are some things to look at? How fast am I going to go? What lanes do I want to take? Are there any holes in the snow that I don't like? These are the things we're looking at. I just heard one of the racers telling another racer, just take in as much pain as you can. That if that is not the definition of Skimo sprint, I don't know what is. It's a 3-4 minute race. How much pain can you endure? Let's cut back out. This is pretty interesting to see everyone checking their transitions, getting a little crowded up there. Someone's going outside the course. Hopefully they don't mess with my cameras there.
They closed, and then for him and Bart, that's off. But I skipped through the gap to kind of actually the distance, and I caught
Right.
Coulter and both of them at the very top. But Bart was already done ripping, and he started to head down. Coulter was still busting, and I'm like, I might get him.
Emma, your audio's
7
coming in
seconds.
hot.
I lost my.
All right, thanks, Emma. That's the amazing Emma Paulides down bottom with us. All right, so let's see if we can see last year's finals. I just want to check to double check the U16 women. Yeah, see, I messed that up. So we'll pull that up here when we need to do that. Okay, so actually, let me correct that from before. So the U16 women, I was incorrect in showing this. The 2024 is incorrect. We can always cut over and look at this. It was Stella Gillespie, Samara Shaw, Ashley Adkins, Izzy Crandall for U16. So that's the only one that should be incorrect. So if you're just joining us, what the racers are doing is called course inspection. Basically, they're doing the course as much as they want. They have about 30 minutes total. The race should start in about 22 minutes at 15 past the hour. I did just receive word that they may move that up. So they just they may move that up. So we may be, if you're making yourself a sandwich, don't turn that dial because we might have an early start for the qualifiers. If you're just joining us, it's the Wasatch Powder Keg. I love that music. I'm also producing it, so I can play the music anytime I want. All right, so what are we doing today? If you're just joining us, if you're the grandmother from Australia, if you're Grampy from the East Coast, we're here in beautiful Solitude, coming to you live via satellite, and we're going to be taking you through the paces of what the Skimo Sprint is. If you're just joining us, here's what it is. They're going to start at the bottom at the starting line. What they can then do is sprint up where these people are right here, get into these diamonds, and they can pick which lane they want to use. So let's see if I can do both at the same time. And would I point this way? No, I point this way. See, we're super high tech here. I'm like a weatherman. We're pointing and talking. They can come up these diamonds. They can pick left or right. So right now, during course inspection, it's actually kind of important to know which way you want to go. Are you a Zoolander? You can't turn left or can't turn right, whichever one it is. You have to pick your lane. Is one of them icy? If everybody goes one way, it's not going to work. Okay, then we go into something like this. Oops. Then they, still into the diamonds. From there, they're going to work their way up to the boot pack transition, which is right here. Yeah, it's hard to produce and film at the same time. So once they skin up, they're going to take the skis off their feet, put them into their backpack. From there, they're going to boot pack up. That's the term of art that we like to use. It basically just means hiking or walking. They're going to be hiking up. They still use their poles. One thing to note is in the transition zone, Man, I'm struggling here today. All right, in the transition zone, they have to put the poles down. You will get a time penalty if you start to do your transition before putting your poles down. That's for safety, because if you want to be fast, why put the poles down at all? Just do it with one hand, you're ready to go. It's a safety thing, you have to put the poles down. You can get a time penalty otherwise. Other than that, once again, once you're at the top, then you can go to this top double rip transition. So at the double rip, I call it double rip. Some people don't do a double rip. You're basically doing a transition where you're skinning. You have skins on the bottom of your skis to help you climb up the mountain. What you need to do, and this is the order I used to do it in, is you go, excuse me, hold on, is you go boots into ski mode, clip the bindings into ski mode, reach forward, grab both of the skins, jump up in the air, rip them off, stomp your feet down so your feet are secured, take those skins, stuff them into your shirt, zip it up. If the skins are flapping, you can get a time penalty. That's probably also a safety thing, because if a skin is hitting you in the face, that's not good. That's a safety issue. At that point, they're going to be skiing down through gates. We saw some crashes. It is a little icy today, so we need to be careful there. At the bottom, they're going to go down and then ski all the way down the bottom. I'm going to take the camera now. So they're going to go from the top. Let's follow these racers down, and we'll see if we can show you. We're taking a nice leisurely thing down, checking it out. There is a little jump here, which can cause some action. Throw a little steez. At that point, you're going to work your way down. At the bottom, you skate around. You want to keep enough speed because there is a slight uphill. As you come around this loop, you then need to make it through over to, oh, they didn't do it. And you come all the way around and then you kind of skate up. It's a slight uphill to make it across the finish line. That's the Skimo sprint in a nutshell. The way it's going to go is everyone's going to lay down a qualifying time by age division. So you do the course once, one at a time, nobody around you. From there, depending on the age division and how many people there are, you may go straight into a final. If you are in the top 6 in your age division, you will go to the final. I think we may just go straight to finals. I don't know if there's going to be semifinals for the youth. But we have the radio this year, so we're going to be calling it and hearing it. So
Is that the Kong Cosmos helmet?
There's a Kong Cosmos helmet. If you're on the live stream,
It has a green logo on it.
it's black and has a green logo on it. So we'll know.
Kong makes a dual cert helmet. Cool. Thank you.
Oh, they're checking if the helmet is legit. You have to have a helmet that's certified. You can't just wear a bike helmet. You can't just wear your dad's rugby hat. Needs to be legit. So, in addition, some other rules that just changed recently is you got to have brakes on your skis. You didn't used to have brakes. Now you have to have brakes. But anyway, I digress. Back to what we needed to talk about here. We're about to start in 15 minutes or less, 15 minutes past the hour. We'll start qualifiers. So, what it is, everyone lays down their best time. If you are in the top 6 in your age division, you go to the finals. Based on how fast you were, you get to pick what lane you're in. You want to be in one of the middle lanes. If you think about it, there's 6 lanes, and you're racing up. Let me show you the start. So in these 6 lanes, you don't want to have to work your way from the outside in. It's nicer to be in the middle, especially if you like to be a leader, a pack leader. Some people like to stalk, but more often than not, you want to be in one of those middle lanes. So you want to kind of go fast, right? Go as fast as you can on the qualifiers? No. If you use too many matchsticks, as they say in the Skimo world, if you use too much gas, use too much of your battery, well, you got to race the final in like 20, 30 minutes. So what happens if you lay down the fastest time possible? You pull an Ian Clark, which is what he does for the men's division. His qualifiers are always the course record. What happens if you lay down a super fast time, but then you don't have enough energy in the final? Well, then you get third or fourth. So it's a very calculated thing, especially if in your age division, like some of the age divisions like U18, there's a lot of people. You might not make the final. So it's like taking a pass-fail course in college. You want to do minimal work, but you better pass that class. It's just like that in the qualifiers. You want to go just slow enough to make sure you make it into the qualifiers, but maybe a little bit faster than too slow for two reasons. One, you don't want to get one of those outside lanes, and two, you want to make sure you make it in. So with that said, it's that perfect balance, and that's where experience comes in. So you're going to see some of the people on the U.S. national team. Let's take a look at some of the previous winners from last year. Let's take a look at the U20 sprint. So Bryce Ostermiller, Nicholas Rocco, Wesley Perkins. I think you're going to see these guys. They kind of know how to handle some qualifiers. Um, Men's U18 sprint. Emity Toy. If you saw him yesterday, absolutely insane. It is amazingly fun to watch Emity Toy go uphill. Also, don't discount Landon Jacob and Tiernan Pitts. Also, Anders Carlson has been known to throw down. So let's take a look and not forget those names. But Emity Toy, I mean, he's a huge favorite, but I think he's in a different age division. He's now moved up, I think, to U20. Emity Toy, yeah, is in now U20. So we're not going to see him in U18. We're going to see Emity Toy race against the likes of Owen Christian.